surefire, pure blood, a bona fide house rock, a jam, more production MC. If you want the best, to put me to the test.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my session on Jamboard. I'm going to share the slides with you. If you had seen at the beginning, the tiny URL was on there to get the slides. I'll also drop that, and it's on every slide. So if you miss it, don't worry, you'll be able to get it. And if you have a smartphone or a tablet available, you can download the Jamboard app, because I'm going to show you guys how to use some features on that later. So let's go ahead and get started. Hold on a second. So I'm going to use the slides a little bit at the beginning, and then I'm going to switch over to the Jamboard itself so I can show you some things. So real quick, we're just gonna go over a couple of things. And if you want to work on a Jamboard while I'm talking, when I start to share, if you hover your cursor over the shared screen and then just click escape, that box will minimize and you can move it around, and then you can open a Jamboard from your Google Drive, and you can play with it while I'm showing you, so you can kind of work along with me if you want. Okay, so let me go ahead and share again. So here we go. So again, there's the tiny URL there. It's Jammin21, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, there's my Twitter handle. It's at Mrs. Mapes with 2 S's. Okay, so what's good about Jamboard? So there's some really good features. The Jamboard was created for collaboration, and it was created for quick collaboration, something you could just throw up there and go to work. It's very user friendly. It's very easy to work with. And what's the benefits of it? Students can learn better visually. And there's a whole, I put a website up there. There's a whole thing on research about learning visually, visiblelearning.org. You can be used as a teacher whiteboard. You're teaching dynamically. It's changing, it's moving, it's going, and it's fun to use. It's highly engaging. It has annotation tools, and it uses you can use it on the web or on an app. So today what I'm going to be showing you is like a web version of it, but I'm also going to show you the app version as well. It was designed, like I said, for sharing and collaboration. You can share it through Google Classroom as an assignment, or share the link. If you share just the link, the collaborators work anonymously. If you share it through Google Classroom, then you see who is collaborating with what. The Jamboards automatically they automatically save in your Google Drive, so there's not a need to go searching for them. You can launch a Jamboard straight from Google Meet. It's just called Teacher Whiteboard. It's the same thing. It's a Jamboard, and you can launch it straight from Google Meet. So if you're still in a hybrid situation, or you just want to, or you're communicating with students that are not there at the moment, then you can launch it through there. There's also, you could have 50 collaborators on a Jamboard at one time. So if you have large classes, so you can have 20 slides or frames up at one time. But if you've got multiple, like a large class, you can make groups and have groups on a jam at one time. You can have up to 20 jams at a time and up to 50 collaborators. Okay, so the lingo. We want to know that you got to have the special lingo. So the jam is the individual file that you create, and those are stored in Google Drive. A frame is a page of the jam. The frame bar is at the top center of the Jamboard interface, and it allows you to delete, duplicate, or move frames in the jam. And then the assisted drawing tool are tools that transform your handwriting into printed text and basic shapes. Those features are only available in the app, and I'm going to demonstrate those for you in just a minute. We're going to get to adding Gifs, okay? So just hang tight. Okay, let's see. So now we're going to go over the tools, and I'm just going to run through these real quick, but then I'm going to show you, okay? So let me, whoops, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, I want to kind of, I'm going to make this smaller. Nope, I'm not going to. Sorry. Okay, so here's a blank. This is a blank jam. And so I'm going to go through the tools real quick. Okay, so you have zoom in, zoom out feature. It's right here. And just like in the other Google Suite products, same thing, zoom in, zoom out. You can undo and redo this click button here, undo and redo. So if you mess up, you can click it and then you go, oh, shoot, I did the wrong one, and you hit redo. You can draw. So this is the drawing tool, okay? And you can click what kind. So there's a pen, there's a marker, there's a highlighter, and a paintbrush. And you can pick whatever thickness you want, and then you can pick the color you want to write in, okay? I'm going to go, I want to show you this little external drawing pad. So if you're, and of course it's not going to work. There we go. Okay, so if you're not a good drawer like I'm not, and you want to really, you know, jam or get going on these, you can buy one of these and you can hook it up to your computer, and you can draw with your the assisted, this drawing tool will help you draw better on the Jamboard. I don't use one, but you know, if somebody likes to do it, I just threw that in there. So we just kind of look showing that. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to show you, erase function. So let's say I'm going to draw real quick. I'm going to draw some lines on here, and I don't like what I drew, so I can hit the erase button and erase it. Okay, if I don't like the whole thing, I can just hit this back button, excuse me, clear frame, and it'll take the whole thing out. The select tool, that's this one, and that lets you just kind of move things around. So if you have something on there, then you can move it around. So, and I'll show you in a minute. Okay, sticky notes. These are fun. You can assign colors to people, or you can just, you know, let them pick whatever they want. I like pink, so I always choose pink, and they can write a note, and then they hit save, and it goes up, and then they're done. Okay, so now it automatically reverts back to the select tool. I can move that around wherever I want. Okay. Images. So you can add an image, and there's different ways. You can upload it from your computer. If you have a URL from a website, you can use that. You can use the camera function, and I'm going to show you that one later on. You can do an image search, and that'll just bring up the box and you just search. If you have something in your Google Drive, it's going to pull up images from your Google Drive. Or if you have something in Google Photos, it will allow you to upload from Google Photos. Okay, and how you upload it is you just click on the picture and you'll see the bar down here and you say insert and it comes up. Okay, so that's how you use the image tool. If you like to use Gifs, okay, you can, if you have the Giphy extension installed, you can just click on that and you could say, oh, there's Loki right there. Let's put Loki in there. And it takes a minute and there's Loki. Okay, so you can use Gifs.
Where was that again? Can you show me that one more time?
It's in the Giphy Chrome extension. And I have a link on the slides to get the Chrome extension. So if you've already downloaded the slides, you can just get that extension. It's really easy. It's in the Chrome store. I have some questions here. I'm going to stop real quick. Okay, looks like we're good. Okay. The slides, it's a tiny URL. Let me grab it for you and share it. Okay. There's the slides.
And I went ahead. Oh, you did.
There we go. I got it. All right. Okay, so we're back to, okay, and let me see what page it's on, the Gifs. I think it is, there it is. It's on page 5 of the slides is the link to get the Giphy extension. Okay, so where was I? I'm lost now. Okay, so shapes. You can do, there's a shape tool. And you just click on the little arrow, it's on circle, and you can just draw the shape that you want. So let's do a triangle, and you just draw the shape, and there it is. Okay. The text tool is right here, and you would just open that up, draw a text box, and type in it. And now you have text on there. And again, these are all things that can be moved around. Everything on here can be moved around. So you're working on it, you want to move things around, you're good to go. Okay, the last tool I'm going to show you is the laser pointer. So if you want to highlight something you're talking about, will highlight it and it disappears as you are highlighting it. So if you're, want to showcase something, you can do the highlight tool. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is the mobile features, which is the assisted drawing tool. So this is the part where you guys get to have fun. So there's a quick little video on the slides. If you click right here, let's see, where am I at? Got to put that back up. On the slides, there's a quick little video here that says assistive drawing tools, and that will show you how to use them, but I'm going to show you also. Okay, so we can, I'm going to go to, I have a blank slide. Where's my blank slide at? And yes, I'm going to go through all of these for you guys. Okay, so if you have a device with you, a mobile, like a iPad or sorry, if you have an iPad or a tablet with you and you download the Jamboard app, you can open this Jamboard, and I'll share it with you. And all you need to do is copy and paste this link. Copy and paste that link, and you can open a Jamboard. in your phone. So right now I'm on this Jamboard on my phone. So here's my phone and I'm on the Jamboard. That sometimes the Gifs don't work as well on the Jamboard, on the mobile app. So it's just, you got to play with it a little bit. So we're going to go to page 2 of the Jamboard. And I'm going to also show you this a little bit later on. So on page 2, you'll see I drew some boxes on there. That's actually my background right now. But if you go to the plus button and hit the plus button, actually, I don't even think you need to do that because it automatically goes. Oh, no, I know what it is. It's on the pen button. So if you, I'm show it to you what it looks like. And there's a pen button and there's a little arrow down and it says,
I'm sorry,
assistive.
Diane, it's
Yeah.
a view only. It says view only.
What do you mean? Oh, it is only a view?
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix it for you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so we're good. You guys should have editor. So I'm showing you right now where it looks, if you look on your pen tool and you go down and there's a little arrow, it says assisted drawing tools. And if you click on that arrow, you'll see a little alphabet or shapes. So if you want to draw on there, and so let's say we'll do alphabet. So I'm going to do on here, I'm going to say, hi. And it's going to turn it to letters. So if you get a student who maybe doesn't draw very well, they can use this assisted drawing tool. And this is available on tablets and Chromebooks. So if you have Chromebooks, they would download the app on their Chromebook and they can use it with their Chromebook. So if they're using just their trackpad, it will help them. There you go. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. You're drawing. You have to be on the, in order for this to work, you have to be on the pen tool and you have to use the little arrow going down. You can do, if you switch it to shapes, let's see. I'm going to clear the frame again. Okay, what's going on? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to switch it to shapes and it will, if it recognizes the shape, it will go. So there's a rhomboid. It's like most recognized shapes. And it has to kind of, there we go. There, I did it with the oval. Pretty cool, huh? I think that's kind of cool. All right, so let's move on. We're going to move on to now some other information here. And you guys can continue to play on that if you want. And I'm going to move this back over for you guys. Okay, so this makes for some great informal learning. Okay, this is something you can throw up on the board, not actually throw up, but put up on your whiteboard, on your screen, and go to town. And the kids can interact. They can, you know, they're part of the learning. And when the kids are part of the learning, they're going to learn more. If you want to change your writing, you just go back up to the arrow and drop it down. Okay, so so when you want to make, we're going to go into templates right now, but I want to go over a few things first before we start getting into that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to see what does the activity, what do you want it to look like? Are there spaces that are going to be filled in? Are they going to label? Are they going to annotate? Are they going to sketch? Those kinds of things you may want to work out on paper first. The more you create the templates, the easier it is. We'll get to that. We'll get to how to save as a PNG. The more you create the templates, the easier it becomes. I didn't know how to create a template before I started working on this. And as I was working on it, I started creating templates, and it was like really, really easy within a couple of days. You also have to realize what things need to lock into place, because if you just throw some stuff up there, the kids can, they can change it. They can move it around, just like you can move stuff around, they can move stuff around. So you want to make sure that the things you want to not move, don't move. Okay. So right now we're going to go through some ways that you can use your whiteboard, or excuse me, your Jamboard for everyday stuff. So let's go back, and if you don't mind, I'm going to change the share things to just view, because I don't want anybody messing with them right now, but I'll open this up when I share it with you. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. Got it. Okay. Go away, little message. There we go. Okay. So the first way, so if you want to see all of your frames, you would go up here and you just click on this little thing here. See where it says 2 of 12? That means I've got 12 frames. You could go through them like this, or you could just click on that and it brings it down, and you can jump to whatever frame you want. Okay. So we're going to go to this one. Sorry. I'm having a little hard time here. So let's clear the frame. Okay. So I cleared the frame. So this one is a collective brain dump. You could use this as a how you would, just for something you're going to start with. What do you know, the KWO? What do you know about a certain subject? And you would have them put their name on it. And you could, again, you could do this. You could send this frame, just this frame, to your students through a Google Classroom assignment. Tell me everything you know about socialism. And you would put the topic here, and then they would write their name in here, and then sorry. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened here. There we go. Okay, so they would put their name in here. This stuff can't move. You see, this stuff doesn't move. This is a template that I made. And again, I'm going to show you guys how to make these templates in a minute. Super easy. Okay, another way you could use it, teacher whiteboard. We just saw that. Okay, this is, real quick. This is going to be something you'd put up real quick, and the students would work on it, be interactive. You could use it for using, like, again, the graphic. This is like a graphic organizer, and in my teacher notes on the slides, I gave you guys a bunch of resources for pre-made templates, so you can look at those. This one would be a one where they would interact with it by naming the planets. So what they would do as a student is they maybe would put a sticky note. They could do a sticky note, or they could do a text box, and they would make their text box and say, this is Earth. And we want to change. Oh, obviously they can't see that, but you could do a sticky note. You could do however you want to do it, but that you could have them label the planets. Okay. Let's take that off. Okay, another way you could use it is the camera. Remember, I showed you the camera function. So what I did, this is the background here. What I would do is I would assign them to this, and I'd say, okay, now I want you to use your camera, and I want you to take a picture of yourself doing those emotions. Well, how would they do that? So remember, they add the image. They could go to camera, and they want to, you got to give it permission. And of course, it's not working. Okay, but you get the idea. They would use their camera function on their Chromebook or their laptop or whatever, and then they would get those. Another way you could use it. So this would be like if you wanted to have them annotate. You could use, or excuse me, this would be like a question, like a discussion question at the beginning of a unit or in the middle of a unit where you get to a topic. And I'm a social studies teacher, so that's why I put that there. But you could have them put a sticky note and answer the question with the sticky note. And they would put it there. And the thing is you could have everybody answer. And now you've got material for discussion. Now, if you had, say you had more than 30 kids, 40 kids, and you don't want them all on here, you could do groups. You could do 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, and you just make multiple copies of this in one thing. Or you could have several discussion questions and they have to go through and answer all of them. Now you've got some great material for a discussion in your class. Okay, this is a fun one to do, using Gifs in here. And so all they would do is you would tell them, so this is the background here, and these are the Gifs. And I just used Giphy and just downloaded the Gifs onto this one. The Gifs are removable. So I just took a page from The Outsiders, and I said, how do you think Ponyboy felt after Derry hit him? Okay, well, all of these answers are correct. They just need to justify it. So I would put this and say, use a text box or a sticky and say, oops, sorry about that. He ran away from home. And this would be one that you would give each student individually. And no matter which one they put in there, they would just have to justify it. You can also make the background so that the GIFs stay, but you have to have the desktop version of PowerPoint to do that, and I don't have it, so I couldn't make one for you. I'm really bummed, but I did attach some videos to show you how to do it, and I'll go through those in a few minutes. Okay, this is a fun one. These are scratch and guess. This is Esther Park showed these, and I have links to her stuff. So what you would do is you'd make the background. This is all background here, and all I did was I covered up the answers using the pen tool. And so if you use the erase tool, you would erase it and you'd see, what is it? Oh my gosh. And I can be made into a sauce. And I am tart. And I'm a fruit. And I grow in water. So they would put their guess over here and they'd say, let's do yellow. Cranberries. and put it over here. There's their guess. And then I'd have them download a picture. So they go over here to picture, and let's do an image search. And there's a picture of cranberries. So we're gonna select that and insert. And they put their picture right there. Again, this would be something you'd give out individually, and you could make different ones. So now I'm going to show you another tool that's kind of cool on this, and this is version history. So I've given this out to my class, but now it's all messed up, but I want to do the version history. So if I go up to the 3 dots, I can go down to see version history. And I can see all the changes that were made to it. So that's what it looked like. So that's the one I want. Restore this version. And I hit restore. And guess what? It's back to how it was before. Okay, so if you mess up or the kids get on it and they mess up, you want to do the version history, it's restored now. And you can go to all the version histories on all of your slides and you can revert them if you want. Okay, another cool feature of using the app. So let's say you're walking around with your iPad in your class and you want to throw something up there. You can access from the Google Drive, and I put images up here. These are just screenshots from my phone. And you would hit the plus button down at the bottom. These things come up that you can add, and you hit drive content. Okay, so if you're walking around, you have your iPad, you want to put something up from your Google Drive, you want to share something from your Google Drive, you would just hit it and it would come up here and they would see it on their devices. Or you could have them share something that they have on their Google Drive. They can do the same thing. Okay, another one I'm going to show you. This is kind of fun. This is hiding an object or a note. So what I did was I just found this image of a hat, and you could play 20 questions. So you could say, you know, ask the questions and they could guess, and then, oh, it's a rabbit. I just pulled a rabbit out of my hat. Hee, isn't that fun? You can hide notes in there. How did I do this? Oh my gosh. Well, just like I did the with the the scratch, sorry. No, cancel. I don't want that. Sorry. There we go. I got to get rid of this. Sorry, I don't know how to get rid of it. I'm sorry, you guys. Well, anyway, so what I did here was I used the tool, the marker tool, and I colored in all of this area with black. And because the pen tool will stay in the front, and anything that you put in will be behind it. So any images or anything is going to be in the front, in the back of it. So the image I put, when I did the color over the image, so I can still see, I can get to that. Oh, I can't get to that image. Gosh darn it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to shut this for a second and open it back up if you don't mind. Sorry, you guys. You know, you always want your. There we go. There we go. Okay, so what I did was, again, I used the pen and I just went to the fattest one, which is the highlighter, or you could use the marker one, and I hit black. It just takes a little patience, and you just color it in. And then what you can do is when you're presenting and you're doing 20, and you could do this like verbally in class, and you could, you know, pull the image out. And like I said, for person of the week, like you could give them a guess and guess what the next unit is. Well, who's the person of the week? And you give clues about that person and they can guess. And then if they guess, you can go, yay. All right, so how did I make all these cool gifts? All right, so let me show you. What I did was I opened a slide deck and I named it Jamboard Backgrounds. So, and the reason I use a slide deck is because the slide decks that are the same if you use the default setting, it's the same size as a Jamboard. So when you put the Jamboard background in, it will be the same size and it won't be distorted or anything. So what I did was I just made them just by adding text, and I added this in here. This is just a picture that I added, and then I put text up here. And so when you get to that, wherever you want it finished. So here's the one I did with the scratch and guess. So the scratch and guess, I just made it look like this. This is all stuff that I put in. And then what you do is you go to File and you go to Download and you go to PNG. You could do JPEG or PNG, whichever one works for you. If you do PNG, if you have anything in the background, it'll be like blank. JPEG is just the same thing. Either one works. And you hit download and you'll see it's downloaded here. And then when I go to my Jamboard, I'm gonna add a frame on. So here's my blank frame, and all I do is I go to background. Okay, so here's all the backgrounds that they have. But if I go here to image and I click that, so if you look here, you can do the same images just like you did for the regular images. You could upload, you could do by URL, by camera, image search, Google Drive, Google Photos. I'm just going to go upload, and here's my file, and I just click and drag it. And there it is. So now what did I do? How did I cover these up? I took the tool, the pen tool, and I used highlighter and I used green, and you just got to be patient with this and you just color them over them. And again, I'm going to give you this but I'm going to give it to you. You can make your own copy of it to so you can play with it. But I also gave you a ton of resources to, whoa, sorry, I'm not really good at this drawing thing, so I'm going to erase it. But you see here, and if you mess up, you can just kind of, you got to be patient with this. But these are so much fun, and the kids, this is so interactive, and the kids have so much fun. Again, it's going to take a little time on your part to set these up, but once they're done, they're done. And the cool thing is you've got these backgrounds saved. And if you just make one slide deck and put all of your backgrounds on there, you can just throw them in and you're good to go. So it's kind of, once you've done it, it's easy, and there we go. This is the one I used for the hat. Same thing. All I did was just color this in once I got it in my Jamboard. I just colored it in and put the images, because once you put an image or a sticky note or a text box in, the coloring is always going to stay on top. So you just put it right behind the coloring. Okay, so couple more things I want to show you. Where did I lost my, I think it's right there. There it is. Okay, so here's some ideas. Now I linked the Jamboard here. So if when you pull this out, you can, or when you pull it up, you can link it. That's my Jamboard that I just showed you. And there's all the examples in there, but it's on, you're going to have to make a copy of it in order to manipulate them, because I turned off the sharing feature. So here's all the things that I showed you. Here's some other ideas. You can use it for attendance, for check-in, bell ringers, exit tickets, assessment, resources, building community engagement, demonstrate understanding. I know there was a session on screencast. If you're a math teacher, you can have students record themselves going through the process of solving a problem, and then they post the video right on there. So now you've got, not only did they solve the problem, but they showed you that they understand how they solve the problem. Obviously, collaboration. The very first time I ever saw a Jamboard and ever used a Jamboard was not in my classroom. It was in my department meetings. We had a Jamboard for our meetings, and we would put up things that we were getting ready to talk about or that we wanted to talk about. And everybody in my department had their own color of sticky. So if there was a pink one, they knew that that was mine. And Mike was green, or no, Mike was orange, and Maria was green, and Brittany is blue. So we all knew who, asked that question, and we could answer the questions. That's the first place I ever saw Jamboard. And then I started doing a little research, and I'm like, this thing's pretty cool. This is just really, really good stuff. You can make lesson plans. I had a slide deck where I would put my agenda, and my kids would come in the room, and the agenda would be on the board, and they came in and they knew what they were doing. You could use your Jamboard for your agenda. Just all you need to do is just make the background, and the kids can't move it around or anything. And it's something you can just change every single day. Super cool tool. Okay, so I'm going to go back to a couple of slides here on the tools here. So if you look down here on the notes, so there's how you can get the Giphy extension. Graphic organizers. This is a file put together by one of the old TSAs here. Tons of graphic organizers and templates. Okay, here's language arts graphic organizers. All you need to do is make a copy of this, and you can use them however you'd like. Okay, I also put the same template here. And then this is a video on, this is kind of some of the stuff that I showed you. This is Matt Miller. Some of the stuff that I showed you earlier in the Jamboard, some of their ideas. And then I also put in a couple from the Teaching with Google Jamboard. So if you have not picked up this book, this is an awesome book here. What I did was I linked Matt Miller here and the Ditch Book series. And I also, this is their Twitter. And I also linked Kim and Alice's Twitters, and Julia and Esther. I'll show you, I'll go back to that slide and show you. And then the Teaching with Jamboard with the Google Jamboard, I linked that there. That's for this book for Amazon. The best book I ever picked up. And what it's cool about it is it gives you little QR codes. So if you want to see what it looks like, you can just scan the QR code and see what it looks like. So where is it? Oh, right here. Okay, so here's some more Jamboard templates. This is Julia and Esther's. Esther has some amazing ones, so does Julia. The scratch one is Esther. And then this is Matt Miller's, some of his. This is a video on how to create Google Slides. It's what I showed you, but in video. So if you forget, you can go back to the video. And it's also right here. And this is also some of making templates with Matt Miller. He's awesome. If you've not seen any of Matt Miller's stuff, he's really awesome. But I would suggest, if you have not picked up this book, that you pick it up. And I think she's giving one away. I think one's in the prizes, so maybe you'll win it. Again, here's the people I want to thank, and this is some more resources. So I just clicked on, this is a Wakelet that I made that's just got some interesting stuff on Jamboards. So if you want to use that, and it's, of course, there we go. So it's just a whole bunch. Yes.
What was the title of that book again?
It's Teaching with Google Jamboard.
Thank you.
And it is linked there on the resource page, on that last page right there, Teaching with Google Jamboard. It's right there. And that's the Amazon link. So if you want to go jump on there and get it. But if you follow these people on Twitter, you're going to get some amazing resources. Okay, so we've got about 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna stop. Well, no, I won't stop sharing. Well, yeah, I will. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing, and then if you have any questions, you can come off mic. So Kirsten, that's my daughter's name, but spelled with an I, not an E. So what you would do is you'd make the background and you would upload it into the Jam. And then when you assign it in Google Classroom, you would have to make a copy for each student. So you need to remember, if you want them individually to do it, make a copy for each student. If you just share the Jam, then everybody can get on it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you actually put it in the classroom and say, make a copy for each student. That way each student has their own copy and they're answering on their own. Is there any other questions? Yeah, go ahead. You can come off mic.
Yeah, I wanted to know, how do you save a copy of the board?
It's
Of the
already,
Jamboard?
once you open it, it's already saved. So once you open it, it's already saved in your Google Drive. All you need to do is just give it a title, and then you'll be able to find it that way.
Is there a maximum number that you can save? Is
No.
it like 20?
No, nope. It's whatever your drive can hold. So like I know that like our let's see, our drives are like terabytes. So you've got lots of room. Okay. Any other questions?
I put my question in the chat. I was just wondering how you would lock parts of the template so that the students can't change those when you make their copies.
Okay, so like I showed you before, I'll go back and share again and show it to you real quick. Let's see. Okay. So when you're you make the template in Google Slides. Okay, so once you make it, so like I don't want them to move any of this stuff around. So I'm going to save this and I go to download as a JPEG or a PNG, one of those two. And see, it comes up right here as the background. And then I would go to my Jamboard, and then I'm going to, let's see, let's clear the frame. Let's see. I'm going to set the background. So it's already on that one, but it'll come up here, and then you just drag and drop it. And when you drag and drop it, it comes up. See, I can't move, none of this stuff moves around. Okay, so you create all of your backgrounds in a Google slide, and then you download it as a PNG or a JPEG, and then you just upload it into your Jamboard. So when I'm creating, I will just have both of these open. I'll have my Jamboard open, and I'll have my my slide, or my Google slide deck open as I'm creating. And then even if I want to pull one off for another presentation, it's already right there. So I would suggest that you create a slide deck and just say Jamboard Backgrounds, and then you can create, and you just go away, and those will never change. And all you do is just download and then upload. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so if I have nothing else, I have nothing else for you. And if you have no more questions, then we are right at our time limit. And I hope you guys got something out of this, because this was like eye-opening for me making this, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So I will see you guys, and Have a good day. Okay.